This episode of the Fight Within podcast is presented to you by Meguiar's. For over 115 years, Meguiar's has been carefully creating and producing advanced formulas with cutting-edge chemistry to deliver a show car perfect appearance. Whether you're showing on the fairway, finalizing your car for auction, or simply getting your beloved car ready for a weekend drive, Meguiar's is ready to help with their premium car care products to make every automotive surface look its absolute best. Meguiar's, reflect your passion. Make sure to visit them at meguiars.com.
What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Fight Within podcast. Today's guest is Michael Paquette. He is a music producer and voice actor. Thanks for being on, man. Really appreciate you.
Man, thanks for having me.
You know, we're talking off air, and I was actually reading all the things that you do, and you're much more than a voice actor and a producer.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and
Sure.
why you chose to go into what in my opinion is such a competitive industry.
Yeah, it is pretty cutthroat. And there's a lot of times, man, I wanted to quit music so bad, a couple of times because it's so cutthroat. But I think just stepping into music, that was the first thing. I started playing piano when I was like 5 or 6 years old, something like that. So it's been a while. And stepping into that, I didn't really realize the impact that it would make on my life, but other people as well. So I started, a lot of the things that I started in was church, playing church music and starting there. And the amount of people that were able to mentor and teach me things, and I would take, the things that they would teach me, and then went to school, high school for music as well. Music is just, it's such a universal language. It really is. And like a lot of people can get inspired by it. Our souls are connected to music, animals don't have music. They don't have those kinds of feelings, like they just don't. But we can sing, we can resonate with it. Like it tells your story, maybe more eloquently than you can yourself when you listen to a song. So I love music, and even though it's frustrating sometimes because it's so cutthroat, it's a passion,
Yeah.
So yeah, I love
But
it.
how touch on that a little bit, just that when you do get frustrated, what type of things frustrate you in that industry?
Well, I think with any industry, and that can go for business, even for you, like at Hidden House, like, man, my coffee shop isn't as successful as Starbucks or, whatever. And
the comparatives.
Yeah, you can always compare. And that's the danger when you start comparing or you start reading comments. And I tell people all the time, like, dude, if you get a hater comment, like, welcome to the club. Like, you finally made it.
I say you made it.
Yeah, you made it. Because people are starting to take notice. And when people take notice, they have their own opinion. And that's when, all these hater comments come around. So I try not to, like, give any attention to that. But we're human, man. Like we want to be able to please everybody with the work and the art that you create.
Yeah.
And so in those moments, it's easy to compare. It's easy to get frustrated and say, man, I just want to quit. Or it's not doing as well as you had hoped. With listens or monthly listeners or subscribers or whatever you want to call it, man. Customers per day. If it doesn't meet your own expectation, it can bog you down a little bit.
But you want, I think us as humans, and I've read about it before, is that we want to be accepted, and we want to be a part of a community. Like that's what we were made for.
We're wired for that, for sure.
So we need it.
How do you? You're in such a unique industry because not every genre of music satisfies or pleases. Sorry, not satisfies, pleases everybody. Not everyone likes country. Not everyone likes rock. Not everyone likes R&B.
Yeah.
So how do you go about not only hitting that demographic, but I think as an artist, you want your voice to be heard. You want like that realness and rawness to come out in your music. So how do you separate the two? How do you separate wanting to be accepted by everyone, but knowing that you're making a specific type of sound and music for people?
It's funny you mentioned that because I had just had a conversation with Ben about my rebranding.
Yeah.
And I started this rebrand. So I have like Spotify, different things like Michael Paquette on Spotify, and you'll hear my music on there. And that was mainly more for like a repertoire. to show people what I can do as a producer and all that kind of stuff. So if you hear that, that's me producing and everything like that. A little help from a couple friends of mine, but for the most part, like that's my project.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, man, I don't want to make this stuff. Like, this isn't what I want to listen to. This isn't really me. This is just to please people.
Yeah.
Like
so
what's popular, please sound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like what's modern sounding, you know. But the point of my rebrand is I actually don't want to be the spotlight. As a matter of fact, that's the whole thing. I was in the church career. You know, I worked at churches as a music director or worship pastor or creative arts guy, and that's all great. It's very fulfilling. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I guess you could say calling or something that I was trying to pursue is to be a platform for others. That's what I felt like I really wanted to do. And I felt a little bit of that in the church realm where I would give support to my volunteers or whatever, you know, and they would be the people to do it. And that was really fulfilling to me. But now, like, I look at it and I say, okay, with anything that I do or anything that I touch, I want to be the stage. Or I want to be somebody that allows other people to get what they want to do.
The avenue to pursue it.
Exactly. Yeah. So my help in their success is my success. And so the whole point of the rebrand is I may not be the center artist because I want to feature other people, but it would be my production. Mm-hmm. My production will be their sound. Mm-hmm. I want them to be excited to be on it. And I want them to have something to share within their circle of influence. And in that is also a win for me. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And where did that come from? Because a lot of people want to be...
They want the show.
In front of the camera.
Especially in your industry.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of industries, like fighters, it's some of the douchiest fighters are the most popular fighters for a reason. With music, it's like...
A lot of guys don't want to be the coach. They want to be the fighter.
Yeah. They want the fame.
In the ring or the cage, and they want the interviews and the media.
They want the spotlight.
But so why did that change for you?
Man,
because it's hard, you know, and I was never. I mean, let's be honest. I was never some like championship caliber fight in my head, 100%. But as
aren't we all?
The results didn't portray that, and you know, and I say that because I was actually talking to like a neighbor of mine at the jacuzzi yesterday, and community jacuzzi, not like my private jacuzzi.
Yeah.
But we were talking, and I was saying that I had that mindset because I trust my training, the way I got ready, and the teammates and coaches that I had. I believed in that so much that it gave me the confidence to then think I could beat everybody.
Yeah.
And I really believed that. Like, I really thought Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, whoever was a big name at the time, I was like, I can beat those guys. Yeah. And if I don't beat them, I'm going to give them the hardest fight they've ever had. Mm-hmm. Like, I really thought that. And I love that attention and I love that spotlight. But how do you go from, like, making music? Because there's a sense of satisfaction when you create something.
Oh, totally.
And now being on the other side of it, almost behind the scenes, if you will, like, no, I want to produce it. I want to show you guys, like kind of lead you guys into what it is to make music, and not just sit there and play the guitar and sing.
Yeah.
Like, why that shift? Like, where did that transition come from? Because you still make music.
Yeah, I do. So
why do you have more of a? Why are you more eager, I guess, to want to be on the other side of it?
Well, I think there's and this also speaks to like my voice acting career, right? So I know I mentioned off camera to you a guy named Bill Rogers. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows who Bill Rogers is, but they do. They've heard his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's something cool about the anonymity of voiceover, where I could, you know, someone like Bill Rogers, or let's say I get a national commercial or something like that, right? They might hear my voice, but they have no idea who I am.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I could be walking down the street making millions of dollars just because of this voiceover commercial or whatever. And I'm just like, hey, what's up? You know, no one knows who I am.
Yeah.
I love that.
There's definitely something unique about that.
It's kind of mysterious.
Yeah.
It's kind of tight, actually.
I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it that way.
But you have, you know, like Ryan Reynolds, and he can't go to the grocery store. You have, like all these people who are so famous because they're on camera, they know their face.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want that. That's for me personally.
Well, and you still get to live out your passion and your art.
Exactly. I'm doing what I love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, do you think some of that resonate? I mean, I think you kind of already answered it, but like, do you think some of that nature comes from like your ministry background?
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure. And I was going to tie it back to faith,
Yeah.
right? Just working at churches and, seeing the opposite of humility and seeing what that does to people.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have I understand humility and I have a different take on it than a lot of people. Like, I believe recognizing that you're good at something is okay. Like,
Sure.
You should be able to say, yeah, I'm freaking good at this.
Yeah.
And maybe at the risk of sounding arrogant, but that you're good at something.
Yeah.
Pursue the things that you're good at. That's business.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
And there's a difference between knowing you're good at it and acting like you're good at it.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the definition of humility that I love is humility isn't thinking less of yourself. Because a lot of people will say, make sure that you're humble. Oh, yeah, I'm not good. No, you can still be good and know it. But so it's not thinking less of yourself. Humility is thinking of yourself less, meaning you're putting other people before you. You're putting people in front of you and saying, how can I help you?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I thrive and I love to be at is, I'm going to think less of myself and think of this artist over here who wants to pursue something but maybe can't. And so I want to be the person that fulfills a dream for them or a goal for them.
But what was the process for you like in being able to identify that? There's a lot of guys that are, and women, but mostly men that are in their 30s, 40s that still don't
trying
have
to pursue.
That don't not only trying to pursue, they're not humble, they're not meek, they are, they're very, I'm gonna throw everything in your face.
Yeah.
I'm successful and I'm gonna let you know it.
Yeah.
Or they don't know their purpose.
That's just annoying though.
For sure.
It
Those are the
is.
people I don't want to be like.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what was that because you're only 29.
Yeah.
So what was that process for you, or what was that tipping point where you were like, no, I don't want to be that. I know what I'm supposed to do. I love people.
Yeah.
I want to help people, and this is how I can help them.
So, well, being in an industry that's pretty cutthroat, and I've been really lucky to be around people who have been in the industry for a long time. Mm-hmm. So I see people who are better than me. And I know like they're on a completely different level, from singing to musicians to voice actors to whatever producers. I know people who will wipe the floor if I was standing next to them. Like they'll just
in comparison.
in comparison to me, like I'm nobody. But that's the first step is realizing, I'm always replaceable, and there's people who are better than me. I always have something to learn. Having that attitude, that keeps you at a really low place. And it's hard to stay there because, you want to recognize that you're growing and you're getting better, but it's being in a position and an attitude of growth and learning all the time.
So you surrounded yourself with better people.
Yeah.
I think that's rad though. Like, especially like we've been talking about it so much lately, like the climate and like the culture of people. And I mean, dude, we live in a freaking time where it's very rare and seldom you find that nature and character in people. Like I said it last week, every person that's ever met Manny, every single person, they're like, dude, I love Manny. Like in
I just met you today and I love you.
Yeah, see?
Thanks,
and it's like in today's
nice
world
of
though,
you.
it's like it's always how can I, not always, but most of the people, especially in like an entertainment industry position, is like, how can I use this guy or girl to get to my next step? And it's not even thinking about genuinely connecting or creating a relationship or creating something that is really cool and genuine. It's how can I use this person to just be like, I'm out, let me step on you, next.
Well, that's what networking is now, right? For a lot of people is, okay, I can do this for you, but what can you do for me?
100%.
I hate that style of networking.
Yeah.
My style of networking is very relational. Like I want to get to know the person. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And also, what have you learned? And what have you failed in? And what did you learn from your failures so that I can learn from it and maybe not make those mistakes too? Like idea of failing and learning from your failures, people don't like the word failure. I actually really love it. Like, if you failed at something, you get up and try again, and you do something different.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, I've failed numerous times. I mean, and I had somebody tell me, so when we decided to move on from the restaurant we had, I wrote like this long dramatic post, but it wasn't meant to be dramatic. For me, it was like owning up to I failed at something, and I'm okay with it. Like, that failure is not going to define me.
Yeah.
It was going to make sure I definitely don't make some of those mistakes ever again, but that failure didn't define me. I might have failed in that particular thing at that particular time, but I'm going to take it, I'm going to soak it up, I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to put it into something else. And you know, I'm not some restaurateur, but like, I've been able to help other people with the mistakes I made.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're kind of like on that track, and I think it's something, you know, where it's needed, it's refreshing, and I think people are going to see like a genuine side of that to you. And I think that's awesome, especially being in that industry. We keep talking about your industry, but dude, you're like in one of the, I don't know how you do it. I don't think I could ever do it. I would probably punch people in the face all day long, but like, it's good. Like, kudos to you for that.
Well, I think it hurts. I think if the failure hurts enough, you're not going to want to experience that again.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So what do you do?
Yeah, you
make
better.
different choices.
Yeah, that's true. That's, I
You
guess
fix it. But to rewind just a little bit, you were very fortunate to surround yourself with better people, to learn from their mistakes, to seek out that knowledge or that industry knowledge. What would you say to people that are in the same industry but don't have the opportunity to have mentors or to have people that are better than them at their craft? What would you say to them?
Well, it depends, right? Because we're very close to LA.
Mm-hmm.
So I can go to LA in 40 minutes and start networking and meeting with people. Mm-hmm. COVID has done a lot of damage, right? Like, that has shut down a lot of different things, so it's harder to network. But what I would say to people who don't have the ability to get people that are better than them, if you're the best in your circle, get out and find a different circle.
Yeah.
Make an effort to go out and find people who are better than you, or reach out to people. Like, dude, we have the freaking internet.
Yeah.
Everything is at our disposal. Make phone calls, make cold calls. People all the time, oh, well, I'm working on my website. Okay, what's that going to do for you? Yeah. Just because you built a website doesn't give you work. You still have to go knock on the doors. Yeah. You know, like, you really think just because I have a website for my voice acting stuff, they're good. Some guy with the commercial is going to say, you know what I need? I need a person like Michael Paquette. They don't even know who I am. But I have to go knock on the door. I have to make cold calls. I have to say, hey, my name's Michael. I do a lot of voice acting. How can I help you? I'd love to be a part of what you do. Maybe do some research and look at the projects that they've done. Talk about their projects, because people love listening about themselves, right? Mm-hmm. So talk about their projects and be specific. Hey, I loved how you did this one thing for this project, and I loved the whatever. You know, like, find something specific and go out and knock on doors, make cold calls, find people who are better than you online and reach out to them and say, how can I learn from you?
Well, I think that's something unique that wasn't even in any industry, is social media and the platforms that gives people to reach out to certain people. Like, we had Ari Spears on a few episodes ago, and I don't know the guy. Yeah, I reached out to him on social media. We're working on a couple different guests that I've reached out to on social media, and they're like, "Yeah, I love the concept. This is what it's about. Cool, I want to do it." And it's like, it's insane the things you can learn. A lot of what I've been doing for my day job is like, I'll Google it and I'll watch videos, YouTube, and do trainings, but so it's interesting.
The two things that both relates to, and I think again it's something that's lacking. That's drive, right? That's having grit. Yeah. That's having the ability to be able to be like, I need to be gritty. Mm-hmm. I need to figure it out. I need to hustle. Dude, for as long as I've known you, I feel like, I think that you were steady when you were at the church, but you have always been hustling. Yeah. Like, and whatever that is, like, do you think there's a lot of people in your industry that have the hustle? I mean, they say they do, but they could also just be freaking taking TikToks and selfies and be like, yeah, I hustled today. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, is that hustling?
Yeah, it's a mentality for sure. Like, I tell people all the time, or they'll say, hey, Michael, should I go to school for music? No. Don't go to school for music. You can learn that. Go to school for business, or because that is your music will be your business. So figure out, if you have no idea how to run a business or to have that sort of mentality, that hustle mentality, go to school for it. And then you can learn how to market your business, whether that's music, voice acting, whether it's coffee, whatever it is. Whatever you do is your business.
Yeah.
So stop spending money on useless things that you can go out and learn on your own time.
Yeah.
And actually focus on something that you can build off of. And if you don't have the mentality and that hustle mindset, then go to school for that. Otherwise, like, man, we don't need school. At least that's my opinion. Unless you're going to be a doctor.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think you do. Like, I tell my son all the time, he's 14.
Yeah.
And I say, go to school, get good grades, because it's your responsibility right now.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
But also start tapping into doing things outside the box. Don't just do what they want you to do. And I literally asked him, I go, do you want to be a doctor? No. Do you want to be a lawyer? No. Then you don't need to go to school.
Yeah.
I said, I'd love for you to have an education so that you have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
But start doing things that interest you. So go draw.
Yeah.
Go do music. Go do something outside the box that you find that you're passionate about and that interests you. And he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna have my own business. I go, well, start small.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I go knock on Grandma and Titi is his grandparents. I go knock in on their neighborhood. Go say, I'll charge you $20. I'll cut your lawn, and people will
So
be like,
good.
wow, there's a 14-year-old kid that's putting out some effort. I go,
Yeah.
I will drive you all day.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, Sunday morning. I'll go and chauffeur you so that you can go do what you want to do, because I want to show them. One, I want to show them how hard it is to start something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But two, I want to show him the value of earning. If he won't ask for every video game, every shoe, every piece of clothing, like this cool shirt. Like, he wanted a sweatshirt for Christmas that was like $130. I was like, bro,
What the heck?
like, no.
What kind of sweatshirt is this,
It's
dude?
like a Thrasher sweatshirt.
What the heck?
And so I was like, you're insane. But now he sees the value in things. And so how do you do that in your industry? When you're the producer, when you have the experience, I mean, for lack of a better word, you don't want to be a dick and be like, nope, you're going to fail. Like, if someone has that talent, someone has the work ethic, say someone has everything, all the intangibles, and they turn to you and they say, man, I want to not mess up. I don't want to go through all the failures that all these people went through. They introduced me to you. How can you help me? Like, do you feel a sense of responsibility because you failed and because you learned from it to make them fail, or do you say no? Let's go to the top. Like, you have the it factor.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? I don't know if you've been put in that position, but
I haven't, but I do get a lot of people who call me and ask me for help, whether it's recording software or how to do something.
I did.
And you did, yeah. And that's fine. I love helping people. That's totally fine. I have young producers hitting me up like, hey, how do I do this? And here's the bottom line. I can teach you every trick in the book. I can teach you all my tricks. But at the end of the day, you're going to still have to learn how to implement them.
yeah,
So you're still years behind me.
Yeah.
And the reason I am where I am now is because I watched and I practiced. I watched and I learned and I practiced. I implemented those things. I had a producing mentor, done a lot of good stuff. He's ridiculous, like so talented. And I would go to the studio and I would just sit and watch, and that was my job. That was it. I didn't
That's
say
cool,
I didn't say a word. And one day, like, he was doing something. I knew exactly what he was trying to do, and he was getting frustrated. He couldn't figure it out, and he turned to me. He goes, "You know how to do this?" I go, "Yep." And I did it, and he goes, "Yeah, that's why you're here." I'm like, see, like, I'm not incompetent. He's just a better producer. Did it die?
Just that. But we can keep going.
Oh,
or just change the battery.
Well, the sound's still going.
We could always stop.
And then recut it.
Yeah, we'll just cut.
Or in the video, you can just put a thing
Like to be funny, like technical difficulties.
And then have it go back.
Yeah.
But we can still record. We can keep recording this audio.
Because you can just put it together.
Well, it's up to you.
You should be able to.
How long was that?
We're at like 23 minutes.
Okay, so we're closing up. It's up to you. We can just keep going.
I mean, whatever. It don't matter.
On the video, you can literally just put a logo up or something like that.
Yeah, we can just put something. Yeah, let's just keep going. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Where was I?
So you're talking about you're a business mentor. He was struggling with something. You fixed it.
So, so my job was to literally just sit there and watch. So until that moment, I'm not incompetent. I know what I'm doing in the sense of like software stuff. But a seasoned producer will know exactly what to put in at the right moments, right elements, where I probably would like maybe overdo it a little bit, and it would be too much. You know, like as someone who's new. So that's where it's choices, like putting specific things in at unique times to be pleasant to the ear or something like that.
But why do you think people, especially in your industry, they're almost like scared to fail? It's like, because if I fail, it means I'm a loser.
Well, man, because you're putting your stuff out there. You're putting your whole heart and your artwork out there. Like this is your soul that's being put out, and you want it to put it out there for what? For people to crush it. I understand how people are scared of it, but at some point it's just like, man, I'm just doing this for me. That's the difference. Is I'm not doing this for anybody out there. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because I love it, and that's the whole point of my rebrand. Is I'm doing this because I love it.
But you're gonna have people, unfortunately, a lot of times
Cares,
right? People that love you, people that care about you, that think they have the answers. I remember when I first started fighting, my mom goes, "Why are you doing this?
Yeah,
like you're not gonna make money. You should stop. It's not smart." And I remember people that I admired, just like, "No, man, you should go do something else. Like you're not gonna make it." And I was like, I was so heartbroken. I was like, "You're supposed to be like my biggest supporter.
Yeah.
How are you telling me that it's not gonna happen?" And did it motivate me? Sure, but for a second, I was extremely disappointed.
Say like broken.
Oh yeah, my spirit was just like,
Yeah.
from I can beat anyone to you're a piece of doo doo and you're never gonna make it.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah. But I also had I kind of understood where they were coming from. I had a kid. I had another one on the way. You know, I was making $1,000 a fight. Like I broke my knee one time. I broke my hand the other. And so they see is the bad things. They don't see the outcome. They don't see the relationships, the discipline, the work ethic that gets instilled in you, the diet. They don't see all that. They just see the outcome. They don't get to see all the attributes, all the traits that get instilled in you from wanting to pursue something and like essentially wanting to be great. You know, and not everyone reaches that, but it you still learn a lot. It's like any other sport. You know, there's things you can learn from every sport. So how do you? I know we're cutting short on time, but what would you tell someone that is wanting to pursue? Because again, you're not just a music producer. You're an artist. You're a songwriter. You're a voice actor. There's so many different traits, sure, within the same industry. But what would you tell someone wanting to go down the same path that you're going down, about not being discouraged and kind of giving them advice?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. It starts from within at first, right? Like I would ask the person, is this really what you want to do? And find out why you want to do it. Find out your why. My why is I want to create things that inspire people, maybe change their life, gives them a little bit of success, right, in everything that I do. And success looks different for everybody. So to one person, it might be recording an EP. To another person, it might be recording a song for their fiance or, you know, for their loved one. Just that little piece, not to go out and make millions of dollars, but success looks different for everybody. Yeah. I want to be a part of that, and help other people fulfill that. But that's my why, is for others, to love others, to inspire others. And if I have a hand in that, that's good for me.
Yeah.
Dang,
you know?
dude.
So all of that, you have to find your own why. Meanwhile, I can be good at what I do.
Yeah.
And if it helps people, so be it.
So guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/The Fight Within Podcast. Find us on all audio platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, anywhere you guys like to listen to it. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for continuing to listen to it and watch it. We can see the growth on our analytics, and just want to thank you guys for supporting us. And remember, guys, that everything was impossible until someone did it. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Kingdom Nutrition. Make sure you guys go and visit their site over at kingdomnutrition.com and enter promo code MFW10 to get 10% off your next purchase. Kingdom Nutrition carries the best sports supplements on the market. They manufacture and curate their own line of supplements with the highest quality ingredients, including a lean protein, weight gainer protein, pre-workout, BCAAs, and an array of other products. They've recently created the world's first vegan chickpea protein, and it tastes amazing. I'm a big dude. I like food, and I like chocolate. So when they told me it comes in chocolate and vanilla, I got really happy. But if you're a workout enthusiast and you want to change up your diet, change up your protein, go check out their vanilla chickpea protein. It mixes well with anything. It'll blend great with a smoothie. So to get your hands on any of these products, just make sure and go visit kingdomnutrition.com. Remember to enter promo code MFW10 and get 10% off your next purchase. Let's go.